Hi, my name is Rachel, and today we're talking about Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. We are back with another Stephanie Garber book. I have my Caraval review linked down below. I will review Legendary as well. I suppose I could be persuaded into reading Finale, but my god, at what cost? This video was commissioned by Tori. Hi, Tori. I'm sorry this took forever. Caraval is one of my most hated, it's probably my most hated traditionally published YA book of all time. I think it's the worst traditionally published YA book of all time, at least so far that I have read, and I've read some bad ones. My full review is down below, and to the person who got so upset with me for saying it's worse than Lightlark, and then proceeded to say that I am shitty because I said that the suicide part of Caraval is shitty, even though I've literally been Baker acted. Okay, sure. Okay. People are so fucking weird about these books. I don't get it. Y'all take it so personally when it's not personal. It's just a fucking book. It is not attached to your person. Stop it. Anyway, my full review is down below. I think that it's a terrible book. And this series is a continuation of some of the characters in Caraval, and I think it's equally garbage. Listen, I want to be nice. I'm not trying to be mean to Stephanie Garber. I am making fun of paper and ink, okay? The thing about it is that it has nothing to do with Stephanie Garber as a person. I don't even know her. I have no idea what kind of person she is, okay? I'm not shitting on Stephanie Garber. Similarly, my grandma, who I loved and adored, was very kind to me, very sweet to me, and I loved her so much. It is not me shitting upon my grandma to say that my grandma could not cook. I'm sorry, I don't think Stephanie Garber can write, but that's not me shitting on her as a person, just like it's not me shitting on my grandma as a person when I say that my grandma's food was objectively fucking terrible. The woman would put Splenda in pasta salad. Objectively bad. My grandpa would sit down at the table, look at her food, and say, I ain't fucking eating that. They loved each other, but her food was terrible, okay? Everything she made me want to not have taste buds any longer. And that is Stephanie's books for me. They are bad. I don't understand how she's published. I don't understand what her developmental editor is doing. Are they perpetually asleep? Are they just passing it on? I don't know what's going on because the content of the books is bad. I don't understand how she keeps putting out such terrible work. I didn't understand how my grandma never learned that Splenda doesn't go in pasta salad, but she didn't, and she died still doing it. Rest in peace, Grandma. She was a really sweet lady. But I don't miss her food. I was expecting Once Upon a Broken Heart to be better than Caraval. It is exactly the same. It is exactly the same. I love my friends, and some of them were like, hey, this one's better. And I was like, oh, dope. Why am I being lied to? I was told Legendary was better than Caraval, and that was also a lie. What is going on? Speaking of what's going on, you won't know anything about the fates in this book unless you read Caraval, the trilogy, but not the first book. That stuff doesn't come up until later books, and it's poorly executed, and even then everything you learn will be stupid, so you're gonna be confused because everything here is convoluted nonsense. Let me tell you what happens. At the beginning of Once Upon a Broken Heart, our main character, Evangeline Fox, who is not so much a fox as she is stupid. She has long flowing tresses of rose gold hair. She's searching for the Prince of Hearts so that she can ask him to stop the wedding of the boys that she loved, Luke Navarro, to her sister Marisol. And the book follows Evangeline Fox, whose parents are dead, and she lives with her stepmother. And if you're hoping for a less naive character than Scarlet from Caraval, too bad, too bad.
Get used to disappointment.
Evangeline Fox is less fox and more hamster on a wheel. No brain cells, just doing the same thing over and over and over. Spin, 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 spin. Evangeline is sure that Luke is under a curse, and he will love her again if she breaks that curse. She goes into the church that is the church of the Prince of Hearts. Jax, the worst. And he is a character from the Caraval trilogy who was into Donatella, who was the sister of Scarlet. Donatella gets it's her POV in Legendary. All of this is stupid. Evangeline talks to a lock and gets inside the church, and I wish this was cool talking to locks like we see in Founderside by Robert Jackson Bennett. Unfortunately, it's not. Everything in here is stupid. I wish Stephanie Garber would talk to another fantasy author, take a class. I don't know. Anyways, Jax mocks Evangeline's heartbreak and agrees, all right, I'll help you. And he's like, in exchange, you have to kiss 3 people that I tell you to kiss who are not your beloved. She agrees, and when she gets home and sees the wedding, everybody is turned to stone. Evangeline drinks poison to save them, turning herself into stone. Do you think that this is important? I know it sounds important. It's not. 6 weeks later, Evangeline turns back human with the help of, I don't know, some other fate who like never comes up again. While she was stoned, the Fates escaped from their prison. Apparently they were in prison. I think that that was a thing that happened in the finale of the Caraval trilogy. I don't know, because I didn't read finale. The finale. God, I wish that had been the finale. Then we wouldn't be here, would we? Do you know who the Fates are? No? That's because you didn't read the Caraval series, even though this was marketed as you don't have to read Caraval in order to read this, but whatever. Yikes. Evangeline is a hero because her sacrifice inspired so many, including the Empress and the Princess, who are Scarlet and Donatella, the most insufferable main characters from the last books. Luke, her boyfriend, has left. Marisol is being shunned because people are like, oh, she's a cursed bride. Evangeline is called Valenda's sweetheart savior, which is the most ridiculous nickname. She feels really guilty because now Marisol is labeled the cursed bride. I will say though that this book uses a element of storytelling that I like, which is tabloids. Tabloids being used in books to tell the audience like what the common folk think about what's going on, or like what the media is trying to persuade the common folk into believing what's going on. The gossip columnist takes were sort of like a reprieve from the actual book. Evangeline spends the next few months hoping that Luke will return. She receives a letter and it's from the New Royals. Anyway, they want Evangeline to represent them at Nocte Neverending in the magnificent North. They want her to go to the capital of Valorfell and go to a ball, and the prince Apollo is going to choose a bride. Evangeline and her sister Marisol hand in hand go to the magnificent North together, and they're like, we're gonna start new lives together, no more nicknames. And at this point, like, it's been clear that like Marisol's mom, Evangeline's stepmom, is like kind of a dick to Evangeline, but at no point did I actually trust Marisol, because it was like spoon fed to us that it's like, well, the stepmom is mean, but Marisol is so nice. And we're like, you know, spoon fed that so that we definitely are told how to feel by the author instead of, you know, explaining through context clues to try to mislead us into thinking Marisol's cool. But no, it's fine. We'll just write this as awkward as possible. Marisol and Evangeline Hamster Fox go up to the magnificent North together, and who should she cross paths with but Jax. Shit. And because they made that agreement, she still has to adhere to, where she kisses 3 people that he tells her to, Jax puts his blood on Evangeline's lips, which, great, more stuff in blood that is not explained, and tells her, hey, go kiss that Prince Apollo, and so she does. Evangeline does. The prince becomes obsessed with her, and he's like super, you know, into her, and she's like, wow, this is so nice to be taken care of by a prince, but she's also like, oh, this is kind of iffy, so she tells Jax to undo it. And he's like, all right, I'll use my 3rd kiss that you have to do to undo it, but first I need you to go with me to talk to this old lady. So she goes and she kisses the old lady, which makes the old lady nice to her, when previously the old lady was mean to her because she wanted her granddaughter to be set up with Prince Apollo. Anyway, everything's made up and the points don't matter. And this matriarch magically reveals that there is a prophecy that is, surprise, surprise, seemingly about our Evangeline Hamster Fox. It says, you will know her because she will be crowned in rose gold. She will be both peasant and princess. And it says that the prophecy has like to do with this thing called the Valerie Arch, and Evangeline will be used to open the Valerie Arch, which is rumored to hold great power. And Jax says, yeah, I manipulated you because I think you're like prophecy girl. She gets engaged to the prince, the wedding's coming up, and Apollo and his brother Tiberius, there's like rumors floating around that they are not getting along. And there's also like people being like, it seems kind of funny that this Prince Apollo's so into Evangeline. Anyway, so they get married and she's like, this seems kind of iffy. I guess I could be into him. I don't know. I guess I'll get married. They go to their bedroom where he has sufficiently oiled himself up, which like, was he gonna slide into her vagina like a water slide made of baby oil? I don't know. Why all the oil? Anyways, Evangeline uses her 3rd kiss on the prince, and after he dead, she shouts for help. She's sobbing uncontrollably, like actually uncontrollably. She is clearly not in control. She gets accused of killing the prince. It's all like very quick happening. Jax comes to find her, uses his magic powers, gets the guards to let Evangeline out. Everybody thinks that she murdered her husband, and he's like, hey, you've been poisoned, and if you don't stop crying, because she's been poisoned to cry nonstop, you're gonna die. So he takes her to go see somebody named Lala, who's also a fate. Do you remember what the fates are? Me neither. Who cares? She's the fate called the Unwedded dead bride who has poisonous tears. And she is able to save Evangeline after a night of sleeping in Jack's arms. Cool, everything makes total sense. Then the two visit another fate named Chaos, who is a fate, as I said, and also a fucking vampire. Why are we getting random vampires? Why? I thought that this was Stephanie Garber, not Stephanie Meyer. Why are the Stephanies sneaking in here? A vampire shows up. Oh, he's a fucking vampire who tells them, hey, yeah, this woman came looking for poison ingredients not long ago. And Evangeline and Jax leave Chaos, but they're being chased down by several vampire changelings, one of which is her ex, Luke, who is now a vampire fledgling. He tells Evangeline, I was under a curse. That's why I agreed to marry Marisol. I love you. And it was actually Marisol who cursed me. And he tells Evangeline, all right, well, Marisol put a love spell on me. And then he tries to bite her. He misses because Jax gets bitten instead. Evangeline spends the rest of the night being like, Jax, do not bite me, even if I want you to. Just kidding. They're pretending they don't have feelings for each other. He's about to bite her. He's like, oh, I just want a little snaggy snag. And then she's like, but if you bite me, I can't open the Valerie arch. And somehow that is made him able to control his vampire thirst. I don't know. So then Jax and Evangeline, he doesn't bite her. He somehow controls his vampire thirst. They start walking home. She's headed, back towards where she shouldn't be going because she's wanted for murder. And all of a sudden he gets very angry, but also very tired, and he just falls asleep. And then he stays asleep for a good whole last chunk of the book. And I think it's because it's very clear to me that like Stephanie Garber is a pants writer, like flying by the seat of her pants. And that works for some people. It doesn't work for her. He stays asleep for no other reason than Stephanie didn't know what the fuck to do with him because she just like didn't know what to do with a major player, so she just yoinked him out of the book. In fact, I don't think he appears in person after this at all. Just in Mindspeak with Evangeline, I'm pretty sure. This is equivalent to my grandma's Splenda pasta salad. Actually, this is a thing that Stephanie Garber does where she just like randomly will make characters fall asleep for like time periods to make time pass, but like fall asleep under magical circumstances to like take them out of the game. She made Scarlett and Julian do this in Caraval too. And like even at the beginning of this book, Evangeline had to miss out on 6 weeks of this book and then play catch up. Why does Stephanie do this? Actually, there's a lot of shit that Garber recycled from Caraval here. Let me finish telling you what happens in the book and then I'll list it, okay? Evangeline assumes, oh, this is a side effect from vampire venom and drags him back to the city. She comes across a door that magically opens for her because apparently she's Evangeline Lock and Key instead of Evangeline Fox. She finds the gossip tabloids, and in the tabloids it says that Marisol is going to be married to Tiberius, who is Prince Apollo's brother, and that their wedding day is today. Which makes Evangeline wonder, did Marisol maybe murder Apollo and like set me up? Evangeline makes a truth potion, goes to the palace, runs into Marisol. Marisol admits that she cursed Luke, but was like, I didn't mean for him to get hurt. I didn't mean to hurt you in the process too. Just shitty sister things, because shitty sisters is all that Garber knows how to write. And then she's like, but no, I didn't frame you for murder. I was buying all those spell books that made me look super fishy because I was trying to find an antidote for that dude that I cursed. I'm not that bad. And Evangeline's like, oh, I understand for some reason. I sure wouldn't have. And then was like, you know what? I should confess something too. She was like, by the way, I prayed to fate. I went and talked to Jax to try to get him to stop your wedding to Luke because I was in love with Luke and I thought he was cursed. And as soon as Marisol hears this, she's like, you fucking asshole. It makes no sense because she just admitted to doing stuff that was like honestly worse. And Evangeline's like, and was a and Evangeline only did what she did as a consequence of what Marisol did, but for some reason Marisol just like loses it, and she's like, you bitch, you betrayed me, bitch, you what? It doesn't make any sense. And like there's no moment of like, are you a few marbles short? Are you perhaps cursed to have no brain cells? She's like, guards, the Evangeline bitch is here and she fucking killed the prince. I'm paraphrasing. Tiberius himself takes Evangeline for questioning the prince's brother who's now in charge. She gets him to drink the truth potion that she brought, and he can't lie, so he's like, yeah, I killed my brother. And then he starts talking about this thing called the Protectorate. He's like, I'm a member of the Protectorate. get a group of people trying very hard to get the Valerie Arch to stay closed. I don't even remember what the fucking Valerie Arch is or what it does. I don't know. And it turns out Marisol had put a love spell on Tiberius. Surprise, surprise. It's broken. And then Evangeline gets reinstated as the ruling princess because she did in fact marry Apollo. Did they consummate it before he could slip and slide his oily ass? You know, no, but that doesn't matter here. So at least we didn't have any awkward scenes talking about that. She goes to meet Jax, who has not shown back up, but has mind spoke to her, and they like mind spoke flirted. It was really random and weird, but he never shows back up in person. She gets sidetracked by some guard, and he takes her underground where the prince who she married, Apollo, is laying unconscious but not dead. So the book ends with Evangeline being taken to a castle where she meets someone named Phaedra, and Phaedra's like, yeah, the prince isn't dead, he's just cursed and sleeping. Sleeping Beauty. And Evangeline somehow does a bunch of mental gymnastics and is like, this is Jax's fault. He used me to open the Valerie Arch, whatever the fuck that is, and he is not my friend. Oh my god. She she has like one of those moments where it's like, you know, the stuff flying, like, I'm gonna put it on the screen, where's the stuff flying around and it's like everything's coming together. He's been behind it all. I cannot trust this man that I've known for 5 seconds. And she's like, I will never open that Valerie Arch because I just did a bunch of mental gymnastics to convince myself that Jax is to blame for all this. The end. Oh, and she's like, I should probably find a way to wake my husband up. Wow, what a terrible fucking way to end a book. Like, I hate villain monologues, but I almost would have preferred a villain monologue here because basically we just end on a bunch of assumptions. Like, Jax isn't even there to say whether or not he actually did all of these things that Evangeline just made up in her brain. It was very Evangeline hamster of her. It's all in Evangeline Fox's head. Who edited this? How was that a cliffhanger? That was just like, oh my god, I think that these things happen even though I have like basically no proof that any of this is real. The end. Did an editor look at this at all? The relationship between Evangeline and Marisol just proved to me that Stephanie Garber has no clue how to write siblings, be they biological or step siblings. Scarlett and Tella, Julian and Dante, Marisol and Evangeline, all of these scream, I am an only child. Or I am just a bad writer. Or both. That shit made no sense. We were hammered over the head with, oh, Marisol, she's so sweet. She couldn't possibly, although it's kind of suspicious that she's holding all these magic books. I'll ignore it. It would have made way more sense if we had actually cultivated a strong bond between the two of them and then actually pull a twist at the end that she betrayed her. Instead, we have Evangeline saying, it's not her, right? The whole book. By the 4th time of her suspecting Marisol but saying, oh, it couldn't be her, she's so sweet, I'm like, bitch, just stab her. I don't care anymore. Why do I care whether or not Marisol betrayed her? Garber never took the time to develop either of them individually, let alone together. These are things that Garber did like in Caraval too, right? So like I said, there's a lot of stuff that she just recycles over and over because nobody is challenging her and her publisher knows what sells. So main character has shitty parent, travels on a boat with her sister to a country she'd never been to before. When she arrives there, the two mysterious but sexy guys interested in her are there. The sister is sinister and manipulative. The main character is naive. The main character is engaged to somebody but thinking about somebody else. Oh no. Main character is probably not biologically the daughter of the person that she thinks she's the biological daughter of. Main character falls asleep for random intervals of time. Main character constantly questioning who she can trust, but it's pretty obvious that all of these people are untrustworthy and none of them have been developed, so the reader doesn't care. At least I didn't. And last but definitely not least is Stephanie Garber's favorite thing to do, which is retconning. Retconning as she goes to suit whatever she needs to do in the moment. Changes her own rules and you end up asking, but why? Wait, what? By the end. Evangeline is exactly like Scarlett. It's just stupid and naive and insufferable. You know what else is stupid and insufferable now that I think about it because I just remembered it? Make-out Monopoly. I mean, kissing chess. There was an actual game in this book called Kissing Chess. YA is for readers who are young adults, but even young adults are not that juvenile. Evangeline's only character trait, like personality trait, is a desire to be loved, very similar to Scarlett, and that doesn't inform her choices in a normal way. She's just stupid because Stephanie wrote her to be stupid. She's in love with Luke because because he was nice to her. Cool. But then Stephanie's writing goes out of its way to compare Luke to every other guy that Evangeline comes in contact with and make Luke seem lesser. Luke's kisses were always too eager, the text said. Luke is always less than these other dudes. And in every situation, it's like, oh, I remember how Luke used to do this, but it's not as good as this. And it's like, oh, okay, great. It's a really lazy way to get a main character to distance herself from her romantic feelings from one character and cultivate them for another person by just saying, oh, well, person who the audience is not attached to sucks at kissing anyways. It's just lazy. What was this plot? What was that? What was the point? It's a lot like Caraval. What was the goddamn point? We were all over the goddamn place and yet ended up nowhere. Evangeline Hamster living up to her name, just going and going and going and going and ending up absolutely nowhere. You know the difference of like going to the grocery store, having your meals all planned out and like making a list of everything you need so you have exactly what you need to make your meals and you're very organized, versus going to the grocery store and you're like, oh, I know I needed stuff, but I ended up just leaving here with baked goods and pizza. That's this. That's part of why I don't write books, because that would be me. We have no plot structure and and then we have random side plots just coming and snatching us out of nowhere. The prophecy? Are you serious? I thought we would see that as the main plot, and instead that shit took a backseat in a whole different car. Garber's writing is as bad as it was in Caraval. He tasted like lust and night and something lost that should have stayed that way. You have got to stop that. Stop saying things are tastes and smells that are categorically not in order to just have like a cheat to making things sound pretty. It doesn't sound pretty. It sounds corny and confusing. At least to me. You're welcome to feel differently about it, but I'm still wondering what she meant by when she said he tasted like midnight in Caraval. Midnight has a particular taste. Again, I would like you to tell me what 6:45 a.m. tastes like. So I don't know what something lost that should have stayed that way tastes like, but okay. I just don't get it. Again, I'm gonna go on this spiel. I know it's a YA book, but there are YA books that are actually good. Teens deserve well-written books that have things in them that actually make sense. Character arcs that make sense. Plots that make sense. Descriptions that make sense. Not everybody can do it like this, though. Not everybody can be the GOAT. So that's it. That's what I have to say about Once Upon a Broken Heart. It was a long walk to nowhere and terrible. I didn't like it. I don't understand. I don't get it. It's stupid. I hate it. Okay. Thanks so much for watching. Leave your comments and questions down below. Like and subscribe if you want to. Make sure you tell me how much of a huge asshole I am for hating books and blah, blah, blah. And let me know what books that are not the Night Circus that do this like whimsy thing in YA exist that are actually good, because I would like a whimsical book. I just want a whimsical book that actually has a plot that makes sense and character arcs that are good. So let me know. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye. Hi, it's Editing Rachel, not Trash Can Rachel. And I have to say thank you for being a friend to my Therapy Bills patrons. And those are Alexander, Allie Magpie, Amanda M, Ash, Ashley, Bubble Tea, Chris, Claire, Des Robert, DJ Krimmer, Emperor's New Blues, Eric, Ethel, Harley, Jack and Jill, John E, Casey McKenzie, KM, Kate W, Kelly K, Quinn, Lex, Lula, Molly, Mrs. Kittybug, Alice, Peggy, Witch Bitch, Rain, SJ, Samar, Sierra, Scarlett, Shiny, SMK, and Zachary. Thank you all so much for being a friend. And before I go, I have to say thank you for being a friend to my Potato Starch Marxist patrons, and those are AM Angel, Aiden, Alicia, Amanda B, Andy, Angelica, Anita, Artie the Ninth, Ashley, Aubrey, Ava, BB, Blythe, Bookish Barbie, Ray, Bree, Brenda, Bryn, Caitlin, Carlin, Cassandra, Catherine K, Kathy, Chris, CJ, Colleen, Courtney, Corwin, Corey, Darren, Deandra, Deborah, Diet Goth, Dorian, Dorothea, Ebby, Eden, Elise, Ember, Emily A, Emily L, Faith, Grace, Gracie, Hannah C, Hannah T, Harpy Kuro, Hello There Darling, Ilianaka, India Inks, JM Tennant, Jay is on Olympus, JT, Jen H, Jennifer T, Jenny G, Jillian, Jules, Kaylee, Kat, Katya, Keely, Kendra, Kylie, L. Lindbergh, Laughing Cat Dog, Laura, Lauren B, Library of Scars, Lisa, Liz Cardigan, Luna Moth, Lustful Octopus, Martin, Maddie, Marcella, Marquita, Maz, Melara, Meow Meow, Morgan R, James, Nat, Natalie, Never, Nicole G, Nicole R, Nicole T, Nikki, 9binary, Paige E, Paige P, Foxglove, Pixel Stars, Piratheon, Quill, Rachel B, Raquel, Rat Sarah, Reba, Rebecca, Ren, Robin, Rowan, Other Rowan, Samantha, Sarah H, Sarah K, Sarah the Bear, Scarlett, Shanae, Shannon, Shayna, Sheena K, Sean, Stephanie, Talia, 3 Old Dogs, Tiana, Trash Can Teddy, Sev, Valentine, Writer A, and Yesenia. Thank you all so much for being a friend.